stop checking the mailbox for a letter never due. I learned to drink my coffee without thinking about you. I planted something simple, a small unruly tree, and watched it grow through seasons where you no longer see me. It wasn't some grand moment or lightning in the sky, just a quiet kind of waking that let the past go by. I found peace without you, not quickly, not clean, but slowly, like a river, washing off what might have been. You were part of every chapter, but not the final view. And I found something softer when I stepped away from you. I walk by your old building without holding in my breath. I hum a song we hated with nothing left to guess. You taught me how to notice what it meant to lose, but also how to listen to the life I get to choose. Maybe you were necessary, but only for a while. And now I look for stillness more than any smile. I found peace without you, like waking from a storm, like slipping off a jacket that no longer kept me warm. I don't regret the loving, but I'm glad I saw it through and found a softer ending that didn't need you I see your smile in stories you don't know, I still watch. And there's peace in how you glow now, like you finally found your spot. You hold them with a comfort I never could sustain. And I realize now with quiet I wasn't built the same. We tried in every color, but kept painting over pain. Now someone brings you sunshine without needing to explain. I hope they give you what I couldn't, the patience, calm and ease, the kind of love you asked for without begging on your knees. I hope they hear you clearly when I only heard me. You deserve that softness, even if it came after me. You needed hands that listen when mine were full of ghosts, and I left you searching while pretending I was close. Now I watch your laughter like a song I never knew, and I hope say it outright, but both our shoulders knew. We walked like something ending without a plan or cue. Your hand brushed mine on instinct, but we let it fall away. The sun was barely rising, like it didn't want to stay. Our shadows stayed connected longer than our feet, but silence spoke the loudest on that final quiet street. This was the walk before goodbye. No speeches, no last kiss, just breathing through the silence and what we come to miss. I wish we'd said I'm sorry, but maybe we both knew why. This was the walk before goodbye. We talked about the weather and who we used to be. You said you'd keep the records, I nodded absently. The river made no comment, the breeze ignored our ache, and every step felt softer, like it knew how much would break. We looked in every window, but never looked at each, and words sat in our pockets, just out of reach. This was the walk before goodbye, where everything was loud. The breath, the feet, the heartbeat, the absence in the crowd. I wanted to say I love you, but silence said it dry. This was the walk before goodbye. We only met once at a train stop in the rain. You asked me for the time, I gave you my name. You smiled like a secret, held your coat too tight. I told you you looked like you didn't sleep last night. We shared 5 minutes, but they stayed like ink. You left without a number, but you still make me think. We only met once, but I think about it often, like a book I never finished. But the page keeps softening. You look like a poem I couldn't quite define. moment seems to last. You might not even remember me, but that night rearranged my stars. Some people leave no footprints, yet they still leave scars. We only met once. We only met once. We only met once, but I think about it often like a book I never finished. But the page keeps softening. You look like a poem I couldn't quite define. We only met once, but you show up in my mind. We started with bad movies and 3 a.m. debates, falling into laughter in ways I miss of late. We built a world of in-jokes and playlists only we knew. Before kisses complicated what was simple, what was true. The love was real, I swear it, but it changed the way we laughed. And somewhere in becoming lovers, we left the best part in the past. I miss the friendship more, the way you text at 2, the dumb inside jokes that only made sense to you. We tried to make it deeper, but the surface held the shore. Now I miss the friendship way more than before. We knew each other sideways in ways romance forgot. I never needed flowers, I just needed what we got. Now it's hard to message without crossing old lines, and I scroll through old photos just to borrow what was mine. Love turned us into strangers while pretending we were near, but I trade all the kissing just to have you still here. I miss the friendship more than the way you touched my skin, than every whispered I love you that didn't quite begin. You were my first safe person. Now the silence feels like war. I still love you, maybe, but I miss the friendship more. You held my name like a secret between the laugh and sigh. Spoke to me in glances, then turned before goodbye. You never introduced me, but you brushed my hand in crowds. we still did. You kept me in the corners of a life you always hid. I was the secret you didn't tell, a bookmark in your spell. We danced behind the curtains but never rang the bell. You said some things are better quiet, but I was loud inside your cell. I was the secret you didn't tell. I waited on the sidelines with a front row heart, watched you speak in futures that didn't include my part. You called me at midnight but never called me mine. I lived in all your silence like an echo out of time. And maybe I let it happen. Maybe I like the ache, but loving in the shadows still felt like a mistake. I was the secret you didn't tell, like a postcard never sent, folded in your jacket, too scared of what it meant. Now your life is lit and open, and I'm still dark, still dwell. I was the secret you didn't tell. You moved on to better stories with people I don't know. I've stopped scrolling for your shadow, but some nights still feel slow. I don't want a reunion or a second final scene, but I hope in quiet moments you still wonder what I mean. I don't need you broken or aching like I do. I just hope a song reminds you of the space we once moved through. I hope you think of me sometimes 100 quiet glances that I never let myself feel. You brought me extra sugar when I always claimed I'm fine, but you remembered little details that never crossed my mind. I didn't see the signs then, I thought it was routine, but hearts don't beat in patterns unless they're in between. I didn't know I was falling until I hit the ground, with your voice in every corner and your footsteps all around. You were just my favorite person till you turned into my sky. I didn't know I was falling, but I never questioned why. You asked about my silence and filled it with a smile. You made the waiting easier, even when it took a while. I thought I was just lucky to know someone like you, but now I see the way my world was shaped by what you do. You didn't need to kiss me for the truth to start to show. Some loves grow in whispers long before we even know. I didn't know I was falling, but now it all makes sense. The way you made me softer without building any fence. You never made a promise, but still you changed the sky. I didn't know I was falling. Now I'll never ask why. I didn't know I was falling until I hit the ground, with your voice in every corner and your footsteps all around. You were just my favorite person till you turned into my sky. I didn't know I was falling, but I never questioned why. You said all the right things and smiled at all the cues. I filled in all the silence with a version I could use. We talked like open pages, but I never saw the ink. You let me write your story, but never stopped to think. I built you in reflections of the love I thought was true, but standing in the wreckage, I never really knew. I never knew you, just the parts you let me hold, the image I believed in, not the heart behind the cold. You were kind in conversation, but your truth stayed far from view. I thought I found my shelter, but I never knew you. You changed with every season, but swore you stayed the same. And I kept adjusting quietly just to match your name. I ignored the warning signs like blinking yellow lights until I woke beside a stranger knew you. You sat across from me once in a room full of sound. We only shared a sentence, but it's still where I'm found. You asked about the weather, and I gave too much away. You smiled like you understood, then vanished in the gray. You were just a flicker, but you burned into my sky like lightning without thunder, like a reason I can't tie. I miss you, though I barely knew you, like a song I can't replay. You were just a tiny moment, but it echoes every day. We didn't even touch, but something still felt true. I miss you in the quiet, though I barely knew you. I wonder where you wandered, and if your laugh still rings, if you remember me at all, or just forgot these things. It wasn't deep or certain, but it was something rare, like meeting a version of someone not quite there. You didn't give me stories, but I made them just the same. Your voice still fills the silence, like a shadow with no name. I miss you, though I barely knew you, but maybe that's the trick. Sometimes souls just pass us, and their presence really sticks. We met in passing thunder, but your echo still breaks through. I miss you, though I barely knew you. You never made grand gestures or kissed me in the rain, but you'd always warm the kettle before I could complain. You folded blankets slowly and fixed the squeaky chair, and when I lost my patience, you only brushed my hair. You didn't write me poems, but you bought me better spoons and made space on your dresser for my midnight moods. I loved you in the little things, the way you poured the tea, like you were calming storms. still pour 2 cups of coffee, though I only drink 1 now. I stir yours like a habit, even though I don't know how. The chair across is quiet, but I tuck it in each night. Like it might still be waiting for you to make it right. It's not about the dishes or how the napkin folds, it's the weight of what we shared in the silence that still holds. I still set your place, though you're not walking through the plates. Don't miss your stories, but the space between them do. I know it's just a table, but it feels like something true. I still set your place, like love still sets for 2. I like the little candle you once said smelled like spring. The one you claimed was too much, but secretly liked the thing. I wipe the crumbs in circles like your fingers used to do. And the silverware still waits for a hand that once was you. I could clear the other setting, but it feels too much like end. And some part of me is hoping for a silence that might bend. I still set your place, though the world moved on ahead. It's not for hope or mourning, it's just what love once said. Maybe ghosts aren't scary when they only sit and stay. I still set your place, like you'll be back someday. You cut your hair in April, started dressing like the sea. You listened to new music and never once showed me. You spoke with different cadence and smiled with less delay. I stayed my same old self while you drifted far away. It wasn't out of anger or sudden shades of gray. You just began to change, and I forgot how to sway. You changed and I stayed, like pages in a book. You rewrote your chapters while I kept the old look. I watched you grow in silence, like a tree I couldn't braid. You changed and You travel without asking, try foods I used to hate. You dance with new opinions while I kept mine in place. You stopped saying good morning or calling me your light, and I kept all your memories folded neat and tight. Change isn't always cruel, but it hurts in subtle ways. When someone that you know just walks a different maze. You changed and I stayed. You drifted from our shore. I waved from old routines, but you needed something more. I still love your silhouette, softened every corner to better fit your mold. I memorized your rhythms and mirrored all your lines. Lost my reflection slowly, one quiet day at a time. You never said change for me, but I heard it in the air. And I just wanted to be someone you choose to keep and care. I tried to be what you wanted, even when it wasn't me. I painted over colors that used to set me free. You loved the version built for you, but never turned to see. I vanished in your shadow, trying to be what you need. I stopped dancing in the kitchen because you liked it neat, and traded books for silence just to stay in your beat. I gave up little pieces that once made me feel whole. But love that costs your center isn't love, it's control. You never raise your voice, but I felt it in your gaze. you're sorry, and maybe that's okay. The words we both were missing wouldn't change the day. I waited for a letter that never touched the floor, but somewhere in the silence I stopped needing more. I carried your goodbye like a stone inside my coat, but now it feels much lighter than all the things I wrote. I forgive you from here, from a distance you can't feel, from a place that isn't bitter, and a wound that started to heal. You don't have to answer or even draw near. I let go of the anger, I forgive you from here. You broke me in slow motion with kindness in your hands, and that made it harder to ever understand. But love doesn't owe closure, and pain doesn't need a name. So I'll leave you in the autumn without pointing blame. You don't need to know this, but I'll say it all the same. I wish you something gentle in someone else's name. I forgive you from here, from the place I stand alone, from a space where your shadow no longer feels like home. You were a beautiful chapter in a book I held dear, but I folded the corner. I forgive you from here. We tried to cross the silence with late night pixel calls, sent photos of our dinners and wrote on bedroom walls. You promised me December, I promised spring would hold, but seasons kept on turning and the waiting got too old. I saved your voice in voicemails, but the warmth began to shrink. It's hard to love a presence when it fades between the sink. When the distance got too loud, we stopped knowing what to say. Replaced I miss you with how's your day. The gaps became the rhythm and the silence found its crowd. We never really ended, the distance got too loud. I saw your name in passing and didn't feel the sting. Just a quiet little memory of a once familiar thing. You used to fill my mornings, now you drift like morning mist. And though I don't replay it, there's still something I missed. But there's no fire left burning, no words I want to shout, just the kind of empty you don't talk about. I miss you without anger, no blame inside my hands. You left without a villain, just a shift in softer plans. We weren't meant forever, and that's okay, I see. But I miss you now and then, without needing you to be sorry for me. I walk by that old cafe where we used to waste our time, and I sit there now alone, still tasting your old rhyme. You laughed too loud, remember, but it lit the place in gold. Now it's quiet but not painful, just a little bittersweet and old. I used to search for reasons, now I let the past just be. You were part of my becoming, even if you didn't see. I miss you without anger, like a book I used to read. Some pages left unfinished, but it's still what I might need. You left a little footprint, but not enough to freeze. I miss you in the silence, but I miss you with some peace. You tell me I'm beautiful, but not like you believe. You hold me like I'm glass and still expect to leave. You write me poems half erased before I read the last. You love me in the mirror but can't unsee your past. You can't love me if you don't love you, and I can't fix the cracks you drew. You see a flaw in every glance, then kiss me like it's second chance. But I can't be your parachute if you won't learn the view. You can't love me if you don't love you. I tried to be a garden, but you water me in drought. You say the right things softly, then shut the feeling out. You said I was the reason you saw color in the haze, but I won't be the only sun you let define your days. You can't love me if you don't love you, and if you don't love you.You still bring me coffee like you always used to do, but you don't ask how I slept last night, and I don't ask you to. We sit and share routines now like actors in a play. The words still come automatic, but the meaning slips away. The light is still soft on the counter, but it's colder than before. I know you're right beside me, but I feel you less and more.When love starts fading, it doesn't scream or shout. It just forgets the little things we used to talk about. It drips like melting snowflakes, soft and hard to name. When love starts fading, it never feels the same.I still wear your sweater, but it doesn't hold your scent. And you still kiss my shoulder, but the warmth feels absent. We haven't fought in weeks now, but that doesn't feel like peace. It's just the hush of knowing some things are set to cease. You still turn out the bedroom light, but never turn to me. Like you're in the same old house, but nowhere I can be. When love starts fading,It's in the pause before you answer, in the lack of you and me. It's quiet in its leaving, but it leaves a heavy frame. When love starts fading, it never feels the same. When love starts fading, it doesn't scream or shout. It just forgets the little things we used to talk about. It drips like melting snowflakes, soft and hard to name. When love starts fading, it never feels the same.We started off in sarcasm, jokes beneath the rain. Shared playlists and opinions on things we can't explain. You lent me books I never read, but kept beside my bed. And every late night ramble stuck deeper in my head. You weren't what I expected, but you became the thread.In every passing moment that stitched the things you said, you became my favorite person without a grand design. A smile turned into shelter, and jokes became a sign. It wasn't some confession, just a truth that slowly grew. You became my favorite person.And I fell for you. You asked if I felt different. I said nah, just the same. But my chest lit up like quiet every time you said my name. You never had to try hard. You just showed up and stayed. And somewhere in the silence I forgot I was afraid.Now your name is in my mornings, and your voice is in my night. You weren't supposed to matter, but you made everything feel right. You became my favorite person without a practice line. into you. I fell for you. You became my favorite person, and I fell into you. You read books you never finished, spoken lines you didn't mean, wore a jacket like a question, stared through every scene. I built you like a sculpture from the pieces I adored, but you never asked to be that. You never signed the chord. I filled in all the blanks with stories made of gold, but your truth was quieter and not the one I sold. I was in love with the idea of you. Just tattooed it on there. I gave you traits from poems, but you were barely there. You smiled when I needed, but not when it was true. And every maybe someday was just a wish I drew. I blamed you for not being what you never claimed to be. You didn't slam the door, you just left it slightly wide, enough to feel the wind come in and push the past aside. No final word or breakdown, just silence in your place. But even that was softer than watching you erase. It could have turned to fire, it could have torn me let your memories leak out. Do you hum our old songs softly when no one's in the room? Do shadows ever whisper what we gave up too soon? It's not about returning, just wondering if you feel that somewhere in your timeline I still flicker, I still heal. Do you think of me at night when the city goes to sleep? When the noise of all your progress fades into something deep? Do I drift across your pillow like a name you can't quite find? Or am I just a silence you don't visit late at night? I've seen your posts and pictures, and you look so far away. But pixels hide the aching in a very curated way. I don't wanna haunt you, I just hope I left a mark in the way you fold your laundry or the stillness in the dark. It's okay if I'm forgotten, but I still ask when I cry if I ever float above you like a cloudless midnight sky. Do you think of me at night when the streetlights start to dim? When you're brushing out the silence that lives under every whim? I'm not hoping for forever, just a flicker once in flight. Do you ever feel me gently when you're all alone at night? You were always wearing flannel, even when the heat was high. And you drank your tea too bitter, just to feel a little alive. You laughed like it was armor, like joy was something earned. But when you looked at sunsets, it's like your anger never burned. That's the version I remember, though I know you've changed your name. Cut your hair and moved to cities that don't whisper quite the same. The version of you I remember still lives beneath my skin, with all the quiet thunder of the world we didn't win. Maybe you've become someone I wouldn't even know, but I still hold your shadow from 1,000 sunsets ago. You once read me poetry that you swore you'd never share, and I still quote your phrases like you're floating in the air. You probably forgot them, left them with a past you shed, but I keep them like a keepsake of the things we left unsaid. It's not about regret now, just the echo of the tune of who you were in autumn before you left that room. The version but your laugh was always louder than any blooming flower. I bought your favorite pastry, then let it go to waste, because somehow it felt hollow without your sudden taste. You're not a ghost I chase now, but you linger like a breeze. This city was our canvas, now it's only memories. I went back without you, and the sidewalks didn't stop. People smiled and hurried past me, like the clock still wouldn't drop. But I stood there with my coffee at the window with that view, knowing I can love this city and still not come back with you. I learned your favorite stories, told them back in rhyme. I memorized your silence and filled it every time. I bought the softer light bulbs so mornings wouldn't sting. I stayed when storms were heavy and didn't ask a thing. But love is not a balance, it's not about the fight. You said I wasn't what you needed, and maybe you were right. I wasn't enough, but I tried with all I had. I held you without asking, even when you left me sad. I bent to every corner just to give you space to grow. I wasn't what you wanted, but I hope that now you know. I smiled through your leaving, said it's okay, be free, but I whispered to the pillow that you took the best of me. You needed someone lighter, I was heavy, worn and true, and I carried all your silence without asking you to. Maybe I was too much, or maybe just too real, but I gave you every version of the way I learned to feel. I wasn't enough, but I gave you every part, even stitched the edges of your fractured heart. You walked away unshaken while I stayed and said goodbye. I wasn't enough, but I tried with all I had. I held you without asking, regret the loving, but I see the cracks in time. You needed something different, and I couldn't draw the line. You carried too much silence. I asked for more than light, and slowly in the balance we lost what once felt right. But I won't hold you hostage in my longing or my songs. You deserve a kind of quiet that feels like it belongs. I hope you find peace, even if it's not with me, in quiet cups of morning or waves that set you free. I won't be a shadow or echo in retreat. I hope you find peace, even if I'm obsolete. I'll stop checking weather in the city where you roam, and learn to build my evenings in the comfort of my own. I'll smile when I remember and cry when it makes sense, but I won't send you backwards from your healing recompense. Some loves are only bridges that get you to the shore, and I was glad to hold you, even if not anymore. I hope you find peace without the weight of should. I hope someone sees you wholly in all the ways I could. You'll always have a chapter in the book I had to leave, but I hope you find peace, even if I had to grieve. I left to find myself, or that's what I always say, but some part of me still lingers on the road that ran away. I packed up all the laughter in boxes I still keep, but there's dust on every memory and silence in my sleep. I tell my friends I'm better, that the growth was worth the tears. before they sing.